Let us start by deeply analyzing President Museveni's current very precarious situation. In fact, the long and short of it is that currently Museveni is in serious trouble. Okay, and I'm going to explain in a minute why. Now, those who were around in the early 90s will remember that we had a very curious situation in East Africa, because the West, Western countries, including the US, Britain, and so on, were very much against the dictatorial regime of Daniel Teacher Moi. At the time, there were also very serious human rights violations going on in Uganda. Now, a keen observer at the time might have told you it was because Uganda was just settling in after decades of instability. Now, the pressure from Western countries, including freezing of aid, finally forced Moi to change his ways and reintroduce multi-party politics in 1991. Now, it is interesting that even in recent years, Museveni has still received very strong backing from Western countries, in spite of the very serious human rights issues, because the man is really a dictator who rules with an iron hand. Still, what was done to Moi in the 90s was not done to Museveni, has never been done to Museveni. Why? Why has Museveni remained Washington's blue-eyed boy? Well, the answer is very simple. The answer is in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Since shortly after he came into power, Museveni has remained Washington's point man, as far as the Congo is concerned. Now, one of the things that has been very consistent with American foreign policy is that when it comes to issues of national security, they'll bend over backwards. They'll ignore everything, just to keep their friend. A good, more recent example is Saudi Arabia, and what's happening in that country, and the way Washington is so reluctant, to do what they should do, to stop, to discourage the gross human rights violations going on in Saudi Arabia. Now, why is the DRC so important to Washington? I think most of you already know. The DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, has the world's highest reserves of a mineral called coltan, sometimes called tantalum. This is a critical metal in the manufacturing of computers and electronics in general. And that includes the electronics that goes into the manufacture of a nuke, a nuclear warhead. Now, there's something which has changed in recent times, which has put Museveni on the spot. And that is, Washington has shifted the position of the point man for the DRC from Yoweri Museveni to another man called Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda. Now, I'm trying to move very fast. President Kagame is as ruthless as Museveni, maybe even more so. However, in the eyes of many, including Washington, is a benevolent dictator. And what he has managed to achieve in Rwanda in such a short time has attracted the attention of the entire world. Rwanda is a tiny landlocked country, but there's no doubt on anybody's mind that the country is going places, and very fast at that. And so, despite the dictatorial ways of Kagame, is in the good books in Washington. And Washington is no longer interested in sustaining Museveni in power. More so because he has been in power way too long. Now, there are plenty of visible pointers to this fact. And although Washington has not directly pledged their support to a young man called Bobi Wine, it is no secret that Bobi Wine is receiving a lot of support from the United States. The fact that Museveni allowed him to leave Uganda to seek medical treatment abroad, credit for that has to go to pressure from the United States and nothing else. And apart from that, Bwana Bobby Wine had many options. He had many other places that have gone for treatment. But he chose the United States. In fact, I'm even going to be more blunt than that. If it weren't for the United States, pressure from the United States, Bobby Wine would not be alive today. Yeah, that's a fact. And I'll tell you something else. The recent squabbles between President Kagame of Rwanda and President Yoweri Museveni of Uganda may be due to a number of reasons. But I guarantee you, reason number one, the main cause, the root cause of all these problems, is the fact that Washington has shifted allegiance from Museveni to Kagame. Now, this is even more annoying to Museveni because Museveni groomed Kagame. Museveni for many years was Kagame's mentor. When Museveni was launching his national resistance movement, which started fighting its way into Uganda, his main right-hand man was Paul Kagame. They built up the movement together. And then later on, Uganda supported Kagame when he too invaded Rwanda with his National Patriotic Front, which brought an end to the bloodletting that was going on between the Hutus and the Tutsis in that country. And so if Museveni was Kenyan, he would probably have said something like this: Sasa, huyu mtu ambaye alikuwa mtu wangu wa mkono just the other day, anajaribu kunionyesha nini? Translation: this boy was my right-hand man just the other day. What is he trying to show me? Now, about 3 weeks ago, I received information which I did not want to believe. I was told that there are indications, there are hints, there are pointers that suggest President Yoweri Museveni may be considering leaving power. And that is why I sat up suddenly and paid attention when during Museveni's visit to Kenya, he visited retired President Daniel Arap Moi. Now, take careful note of the fact that when Moi was in power, his relation with Museveni was icy at best. They didn't have a good relationship. And there were countless confrontations during the Cold War between the two. In one very memorable incident, a man called Makto, the late Makto, went to Kampala to see Museveni. He was sent there by Moi. And the first thing Museveni did was to show Makto a check drawn to Kenya Commercial Bank. There's a Kenya Commercial Bank branch in Kampala, Uganda. And Museveni said that there were two gentlemen from Kenya who had arrived in Uganda with that check. And they were on an unspecified mission. And Makto inquired about the fate of the two gentlemen. President Museveni responded casually and said, "Oh, we took care of them." That means, that's code for meaning they were tortured to get as much information as possible from them as to what their mission and intentions in Uganda were. And then they were killed. So why would Museveni want to visit Moi? And he visited Moi at a rather sensitive time because Moi was on his way for a medical checkup at the Nairobi hospital, where he's been admitted and is currently undergoing a medical checkup. And so their meeting took place at Cabernet Gardens, off Gong Road. This is the official residence of Moi in Nairobi. Originally, Cabernet Gardens was owned by the government, and it was the official residence of the Vice President of the Republic of Kenya in those days. But when Moi took over power, he retained it. He continued using the place. He used to live there. Indeed, Moi never slept at State House Nairobi. Yeah, he always used to sleep at Cabernet Gardens during his entire 24-year rule, yeah, whenever he's in Nairobi. And when Moi left power, it was supposed to revert back to the government of Kenya. However, Kibaki gifted it, President Kibaki gifted it to President Moi. Yeah, and that's why the government had to undergo the extra expense of building a brand new official residence for the deputy president, now the deputy president, in Karen, Nairobi. Anyway, the discussions went on for a long time in Cabernet Gardens before Museveni left, yeah, and then Moi also left for Nairobi Hospital. And it is interesting that later Museveni tweeted that he had visited Moi at Nairobi Hospital. Yeah, this is not entirely accurate. Yeah, in fact, you can see on your screens right now the photograph of Museveni meeting Moi. Yeah, and Gideon Moi, Senator Gideon Moi, was also present at Cabernet Gardens. And so the big question has to be, what were they discussing? These people were previously sworn enemies. These people who previously, the best that ever happened between them was a cold, icy relationship. Welcome to part 2. Now, a courtesy visit ordinarily will take just a few minutes. Exchange pleasantries, catch up on one or two things, and then you leave. However, Museveni met Moi for more than 2 hours. And so, what they were discussing must have been serious business. And I strongly believe, or rather I have reason to believe, that what they were discussing had a lot to do with President Museveni's current, precarious situation, which Moi himself also faced in the 90s and managed to survive. And so, it is highly likely, they were discussing one of two things, or both things. Number one, how to survive in power, when powerful Western allies have deserted you. Powerful allies, who are capable of doing many bad things to you, including sponsoring unrest and opposition in your country, which is precisely what Moi went through in the 90s, early 90s. Number two, tips on how to organize the perfect exit strategy to leave power after many years at the helm, and still stay out of jail and stay out of prosecution. Moi's mind is still very sharp. Yes, he's an old man, but I'm told he doesn't miss a beat. And his memory, is unbelievable. Because many others at his age lose it. They start forgetting things. You can't have a discussion with them, but not Moi. If you ask me, Museveni's options are very limited. And the longer he continues staying on in power, the more limited his options become. My gut feeling is that reality has finally dawned on Museveni. And it is highly likely, that we're going to have a new president in Uganda very soon. Let me just leave it at that.